Welcome to Happy Hour with
Ruth
and Roxy.
We got our names right.
Yeah,
so
we
look
did.
at that. Holy doodle.
Holy doodle.
And Chalupa's running around here and it's a whole thing.
They're all doing
Oh, we're
their
both
thing.
in blue today. Look at that.
We are.
That doesn't usually happen.
No, it doesn't. I was in white for a little while, and then I thought, come on, let's be realistic here. This is just a terrible idea. And also, as you can possibly see from the shine on my face, it's very hot.
It is,
today.
except I'm still wearing this because I don't like my arms today.
I don't get you. I don't get you.
I don't get me, so it doesn't really matter. Okay.
Let's start off with what we're drinking today.
Does anybody want to guess?
But this is a surprise because look it's not the clear one that we usually have. It is the Stoneboat Rosé Brut.
And I think we've done this once before.
I think we
another
have
one.
too.
But yes,
Yeah,
it's really good and
I quite
refreshing.
like it. Yeah.
And it feels like a summer afternoon drink, and it feels like summer.
Oh, it's summer.
So-
Also, ice water.
Yeah. We've become very good at ice water.
Cheers. We're working
Also,
on it.
we're still bad at both taking sips at the same time, so you know.
Yeah, I know. Production values. You know what? I was going to say something about you get what you pay for, but that seems like bad karma.
Also bad branding.
Bad branding, yes.
So, you know.
We're working on it. We're working
you know
on it.
what?
But I will say
we're all just messy.
we're all just messy. And I will say for production values, look at the prettiness behind us.
Look at what she did.
Right?
Look at
So,
the prettiness in front of
Look
you.
at the prettiness in front
Also,
of us.
Look at my pretty tattoo.
Oh, it just keeps getting nicer.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
now that the
beautiful.
peeling's gone.
Yeah. It's still a little dry. So I
Yeah.
just keep having to, but it'll take a while, I think, because, you know.
It would help if you had
major
hair in your
transaction.
arms.
It probably would. I know, it's very funny, hey?
Hairless.
I'm like a hairless
arms.
chihuahua.
Actually,
You're pretty
I
hairless.
have less hair than I used to. Oh, that's bad. I'm losing my hair. What's going on? I don't know. Still got all this, though. Ugh, although I tried to curl it today.
It looks very nice. Briley,
Just the
don't
heat.
watch.
Yeah, Briley does good things. I
Yes.
then come home and wreck
Briley
it.
does amazing things.
Well, we have lots to talk about today, but we are going to start with a surprise. I have a present for you.
Uh-oh. That scares
Did you
me.
see that?
Am I in trouble? Uh-oh.
You'll understand in a moment.
Oh, you're so funny. That's a good lead into what we're going to talk about. Oh, that's so funny. This is a dress I gave Roxanne because it didn't fit me anymore. I'm still not sure it would fit me, but
Oh,
we'll
it'll
see.
fit you now.
We'll see. I love
It'll
this
fit you
dress.
now.
But oh my God, you're so funny.
So first you lent it to me
Yes.
for an event that we had here at the barn, and I loved it. And I said, "Oh, I love that dress. I'll buy it from you." And you're like, "Nope, I'm not selling it because I still love that dress, and I really believe I can
have
fit into
hope.
it again. It's an aspirational dress for me."
Okay.
And then I don't know, about a year later, you're like, "Here, you can have it." I have no
I
aspirations
said it
anymore.
nicer than that, just saying. Because it looks good on her. We can
But
share
I
it.
offered you money, and then you didn't even
wasn't
take that.
taking it.
I know that, but I
That's very
heard
nice.
what you were saying was that I still love that dress, and now I don't believe I can ever fit into it again.
Oh, see?
And I didn't believe that,
See, look at her. Hey, isn't that sweet?
and so there
If
you
I was a
go.
nicer person, I'd cry.
She's crying on the inside. I
I
can
am crying
tell.
on that. That's very nice, and I will try it on. I'm not quite there yet, but that is the big thing we're going to talk about today, and not just about weight loss or that kind of thing. It's a bigger conversation, I think, and
It is.
and there's so much that goes into it that, at least for me, I mean, you know, this last time, and we're gonna sort of talk about how I got here and why and all the things, but this time it was about getting fit.
Yeah.
And it was about, I want to age in a way so that I can still do the things, right?
Yeah.
And that, you know, I can chase the dogs around when, you know,
Yeah.
even though they're old and don't want to be chased anymore.
You want to be healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And able to travel and not
Yeah.
worry about it,
Yeah.
right?
And that's not to say that you can't be overweight and healthy, because you absolutely
No,
can.
absolutely.
And overweight is kind of an arbitrary word.
Yeah.
I mean, the medical profession has percentages and numbers
Yeah.
and, you know, BMI indexes.
Yeah,
And,
you can be. I was not, right? Like
Yeah.
I was saying, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I got genetically high cholesterol,
Yeah.
right? But it was going up, right?
Yeah,
And my blood pressure, which has never been an issue, is going up. I was unhappy with, and it was just like, even when I worked out and I ate healthy,
you were working out all the time.
that might stop me from gaining as much, but didn't stop me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I was just on this rule, and I went to the doctor and I asked lots of questions, and I talked to a nutritionist, and I mean, you know what? You know, for people who who have dealt with sort of weight issues and stuff, it's like, we know what to eat, right? You know what's healthy, you know what's not. You know, you can't have French fries every night. You know, and all that kind of stuff. But none of what should work was working, and I've always had a challenge losing weight. But then it was just like, well, I have to do something about this because I don't want to be unhealthy. I know lots of people who are just bigger people and they're perfectly healthy, right?
And they have probably been that way since infancy.
Yeah.
Like there are some babies that are, you can tell when you look at them, like they're like one of my granddaughters is teeny tiny and she has been from birth. And she's wiry and, you know, she's 6 years old, long limbs though and skinny. And the other one she's only 6 months old now, but she's just got these huge chubby cheeks that my older granddaughter never had. She had baby fat like every baby does, but different body types, different body
and that's
styles.
just it, they're body types. And for me, I knew whatever it was, you know, the doctors used to laugh because I'd keep a food diary and I'd go in. It's like, why isn't this working? And it's like, it makes no sense. So it was either, and no doctor ever said it, but either it was like, I'm full of crap, right? Or my metabolism, and it was from an early age. So it wasn't like I screwed up my metabolism, although I probably did. It made it worse. But it was just like, however my body processes stuff, right? And so you have to think about that because for some people, you know, when I decide to lose weight, Paul doesn't change his diet, but I change how I cook, and he drops like 10 pounds in like 2 weeks, right? For me, it's like 1 pound every 3 months, right? And so I decided to do something about it, and I have to say, I'm a little hesitant to share this because there's lots of criticism, but I went on Ozempic. And I think it's a good thing to talk about. I don't think it's for everybody. For me, I did my research. I had 3 friends who had been on it. One had a really awful time and went off it quickly. One continues on it, and one went on it and lost about 40 pounds and has maintained it for about a year. And so I asked questions of them. I did my research. I went to 3 different appointments. I'm sure irritated my doctor, right? But finally she did say to me, and you know, you have to be, they won't let you have Ozempic. Like, I was, and granted, she did make me get on the scale with all my clothes on, but you have to be a certain percentage, right? Like you have to be on the verge of obese, right, with your body fat. And so her and I talked about it, and I think I've been on it for 5 months now, I guess. Okay. And I've lost 30. Well, it was 34 pounds, but now I gained 3 pounds last night, so I don't know what happened. But
that's not real. It's not real weight.
Well, and you know, it goes back and forth. Some weeks, you know, and I'm losing an average of like 1 to 1.5 to maybe 2 pounds a week, healthy.
Yeah.
Right. I'm changing. It has changed my approach to a lot of things. I'm eating healthier instead of going for chips, which, you know, I go for a peach or an orange, right? Like it has changed, and that. But ask, because I think people are interested, and certainly you can ask me questions. I know a lot about it now, and I know it was an informed decision and probably a calculated risk. Yeah. Because there are risks to anything you put in your body. But ask me questions. I am happy to answer. But if you're just going to criticize, go somewhere else. Because this was my decision. If you choose not to do it, I'm okay with that. Right, but the one thing, because you see it online where people are like, that's the stupidest thing, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's not coming from an informed place.
Exactly. Or they'll say that's cheating. Yeah. Right?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I work out 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah. And we walk every day. Yep. Right? I'm eating healthier.
You guys walk way more than I do, because you do a whole loop in the compound in the morning.
Yeah, it's a little less now because Chalupa's old. Yeah. But that's just it. Like, we walk for 40 minutes in the morning. We usually at lunch we walk for 20 or 25. Yeah. And at dinner it's probably only 10 or 15. Yeah. Right? But still, that's over a day. Yeah. And I'm up and down the stairs all the time talking to Paul, right? Totally. Plus, I work out for between. I like it on Supernatural when they come and go, athlete, you did 60 minutes. Yes. Like, I'm always looking for that. Oh, yeah. But it has helped me. The first question I usually get is, did it make you nauseous? Ah. And it has. There are some times when I get nausea and you have to go early on, throw up, because your body's getting used to it, right? Yeah. And it happened this morning, but every once in a while coffee throws me off in the morning. Oh, interesting. Just for like every randomly, and I don't know whether I should pay more attention because I've got an espresso, so I use different coffees, right? Right. It might be the roast or something, you know what I mean? It has too much acid in it or something, right? Yeah. But it's not like some people had really hard times, like, and there are some high profile celebrities who had really hard times and said like it just knocked them into bed. It was awful. Wow. right?
Wow.
So you know pretty early.
Is it a one size fits all sort of medication, or are there doses to it depending on?
So there are
various
doses,
things?
but what they started me is I did
First of all, how is it administered?
a needle.
And so it's an injection you
Yeah.
give yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and
you
you
get-
do it every week.
Okay.
And it starts off, I think it was 25 milligrams.
Okay.
And you do that for 4 weeks, and then you do 50 milligrams, and then you move up to 100 milligrams.
Ah, okay.
Right? And what the doctor said to me was, so when we were talking about it, because I said, look, like, this is a jump start for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, okay. She said, I'm always happy when people say that, because she said, you can stay on it forever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She said, but it's not, like, I'm lucky I have health insurance.
Right, right.
But she said, you know, it's not something I would recommend to stay on it forever.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, for jump starts, she said, you can go up to a year, get to where you want to be, because you're changing habits, right? And so that's my goal. But so nausea happens. I haven't felt any other side
Okay.
effects from that. I have craved healthier foods. Now, is it because of it? And it's changed because it's a medicine for diabetics, right? Has it changed? Has it changed my cravings, or has all of the things I'm doing with it? Working out, right? Being conscious of what I eat. So it has changed. Like, I'm not that interested in greasy stuff, because that, you know,
Okay.
it's like not. And I ate French fries last night. It's not that
Yeah.
I don't have them, but I don't crave them as much. So I'm not quite. Which came first, right?
Yeah, which
Right?
came first.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I don't know a lot. I've talked with my doctor friend about it briefly, and because I'm very interested in that, because I have a diabetic son-in-law, and
Right.
type 1 diabetic. And I'm very interested in that. I didn't really get a clear answer from my doctor friend as far as how does it work, because I'm not sure they entirely know
don't
how it
think they
works.
know.
But it has been used for diabetes
Yep.
for a long time,
Yep.
a long, long time.
Yeah, it evens out your blood sugar. So once you sort of realize, and I have a very basic, because we all know I'm not the scientist in the relationship, but if it evens out your blood sugar, and I think about my job it can be high stress. I often had insomnia, right? I had restless legs, and I just wondered, did it help? Because I have medication for restless legs that's really good, but I haven't had restless legs, knock on freaking wood, for months, right? Like,
Are you still taking the
I'm still
restless leg
taking the medication, but also, even when I was taking that before, I'd get like little bits, and I'd
Yeah.
go have a hot bath, right?
Okay.
I haven't had that in months.
Really?
So I'm wondering,
That's
have I caught
interesting.
up on, has this adjusted something,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and so I've got all these notes for the next time I talk to the doctor, but it's like, whatever it's doing is working for me. I'm not losing quickly. Like, there are some people that lose very quickly on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I expect they probably had more weight to lose than
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Right? So, but mine's been steady. I've changed my diet, but I haven't I'm having wine. Right? I had French fries last night. I will, but now I add vegetables every time. No matter what we eat, there's an extra vegetable in there.
Yeah.
And so I think and I haven't had any of the really bad side effects. The only thing
Okay.
I have to say, the biggest worry is, because my weekly thing is Sundays. Is on Sundays, all of a sudden at 11 o'clock, it's like, oh my God, I haven't taken, like, right? And it's not that big a deal. You remember, but for me, it's like, what?
And you have an alert on your phone, and then
Yeah,
an alert
well,
on your
it's just-
computer,
it's like-
and things are
It's
dinging
all of it.
dinging.
And then,
Yeah.
you go to reach for an apple, and it's like, what am I missing? What's wrong? So there's something missing. But so anybody out there ask me questions, I am happy to answer them. I'm trying to think of any of the interesting things, because except for weight loss and non-scale victories,
Yeah.
like, I have more energy now. Is that from losing weight, or is that from Ozempic? You know what I mean? From the medication.
Oh, it's almost certainly for like 30
But
pounds.
two things can be true,
Well,
right?
for sure, two things can be true. But you think about the difference. I mean, okay, so I just spent like 36 hours with my grandkids, and my youngest granddaughter is 17 pounds, something like that. 17 pounds. It's half of what you've lost. I'm freaking exhausted after holding her. And it's like, okay, why? Why does everything hurt from carrying you?
Right.
Like,
That's a big
so
workout.
It is. I
I don't think I've ever seen her look so tired, because you had 3 full days.
yesterday.
Right?
Yesterday was at the end of yesterday.
Like, you had a lot.
Yeah, so we saw the kids on Tuesday for my oldest granddaughter. We took her pony riding
That's
for her
awesome,
birthday.
right?
So we did that, and that was it was an hour drive for me to get there, and it was an hour drive from from where Steph was to get to our place. I didn't have a screaming kid in the car, and Solene threw up in the car, which she almost always does. She gets car sick. But she's got it down pat. She's got her little barf bags, and she knows how to close it up afterwards. And she's like, "Yeah, I only puked once this time, Granny." Oh, so it's a challenge for them too, which is why we're moving. But so we had that day, which was super fun. I mean,
that's awesome.
I love horses, and it was really fun to see her enjoy that. And
that's cool.
Mommy's going to buy a farm when she wins the lottery.
And that's funny.
There might be enough money left for a horse for me too.
Oh, maybe.
It's not a given. It's not a given.
What about me? You're going to have to share.
I don't know.
You're going to have to share.
I might have to share. So that was Tuesday, and then Wednesday she came out with both kids, and then my youngest daughter also came out, and we had a pool day, swimming and sleepover and movies and, walking around, going to the park and all that stuff. So that was a full day with the kids. And then Wednesday, my middle daughter and her kids and another, I don't know what I call her, my son-in-law's sister, and her son came out.
So your daughter's sister-in-law.
My daughter's sister-in-law, yes. And her son came out. So we had a crowd of us at the water slides, and it was great fun. But
busy.
Okay, so you know what's exhausting about the water slides? The noise. The level of noise at that place is just unreal.
It's like Vegas for kids.
Yeah. There's music blaring. There's kids screaming everywhere. There's water splashing. Like it's a really fun environment. It's also hot, and then
and also for those of us who don't have a life where there are a lot of kids or a lot of noise, like Paul and I aren't. Even if we're kind of wrinkled with each other, we're not yellers, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we live in a
right. Yes.
Right. So that kind of is, if for me, like it's really fun for about an hour, and then it's like I can't think.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's where what I think is my ADHD kind of kicks in, because I'm just sort of like, I don't know what to listen to first, what to look at first. It's like I don't know. Is everyone alive? That's all I have to care about. Is everyone alive? And then it's like, did you bring? I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know anything.
See, I grew up. I mean, my first job was at McLean's, right? Which there were some offices, but there was a lot of open offices where it was just noisy. Where now it's like silence isn't good for me to think, but that's over. Like I could listen to 14 different journalists yell at each other.
You've always got stuff going on in the background. You're playing something, and I walk in and I'm like, "Hi, Ruth."
What's going on here? But it's that noise, and I think and it might just be it's the human noise, right? I know if I've got stuff going on, I can hit a button and shut them all off.
Right. Yeah.
Can't do that with kids.
No, we can't do that with kids. No. So it was really fun, but it was we by the end of yesterday we were both pretty tired. So how did we get started on that? I can't remember. But
carrying kids around.
Oh yes. Oh, and the weight, exactly.
Yep.
So that amount of weight, I have no doubt that plays a big role in your energy levels. But also you're feeling happier.
Yep.
Because this is a task you set out for yourself, a goal, and you're meeting your goal.
I am. And I'm seeing the non-scale victories like we talked about. And not just getting, a good sized jeans, which I'm still really, and also I know it's just the cut of the jeans. Like I am not a size 6, I promise. But anyway, it's also look at that. I want a peach as opposed to, because I like crunchy things, right? Like I would eat crackers or I would eat chips or that kind of thing. But it would be like, oh no, actually, peaches are great right now.
Oh yeah.
But also I feel better after the peach.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like and those things are becoming I'm aware of them. Whereas if you're stressed and you're just like eating potato chips, like you're not enjoying them.
Yeah.
But that's emotional eating for me, which is my thing. If I'm happy, I don't really care about food.
Yeah. Except for good restaurant food.
Right.
Or cooking a good meal,
cooking.
right?
I like cooking a good meal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you like eating it as an event, right? Like, because we go out, I mean, my gosh, we never eat so well as when we're on holidays.
Yeah.
Although, I shouldn't say that, because we eat really, really well here, too, when we get together.
Yes.
And you always cook good meals, and I always make craft dinner, but that's fine.
That's not true. Not true.
Oh, that's so interesting. So has it changed the way, like you mentioned the coffee sometimes doesn't taste the same to you or doesn't have the same effect? Has Has it affected the way you experience food?
No. It says what they say is you get fuller faster, but I'm a little bit at a time eater anyway.
Yeah.
Like I've
Yeah.
always been, I like little bits, and I like
Frequent.
choice, right? And
Okay.
and like
Yeah.
like
Lots
I
of
don't want just
variation?
one thing. Yeah,
Okay.
which is why like I'm the queen of appetizers.
Yeah.
But so I don't know that it's done that much for me in that area, because I always did. It's made me more conscious of portion size, certainly. But and coffee, it's like it still tastes great. It's just then I feel like, oh, like there might be just too much acid in certain certain
Yeah.
roasts or something.
Yeah.
Anything else is better, except I like. It feels like I think because I'm eating healthier food and like more vegetables and more lettuce and more, and not you put a bit of butter on, but you don't need a lot, right? So I'm doing
Unless
less
it's
of
corn on the
and
cob.
corn, yeah. Although some of the corn now, like again, we have really great corn. You don't
Yeah.
even need butter on some of it,
Oh,
right? Like it's so good.
Yeah.
Right? But so what I feel like is like my taste buds have woken up again.
Oh,
Right? Is a little bit,
interesting.
because I think if your default is to go get a handful of crackers, right? I mean, it's not like crackers are this taste bud delight, right? It's the crunch
It's
and
the crunch
salt,
and the salt. Yeah.
right? And so then all of a sudden, if you're switching and you're like, oh, like you made one day, it was a very simple cucumbers with the lemon salt.
Oh, yeah.
I'm obsessed with that now.
It's so
right?
delicious.
It's shockingly delicious,
It's
right?
just nothing. It's cute.
Right.
I'm still off cucumbers right now.
Yeah,
But,
I can see that. I can see that.
but yeah, that is just so, well,
Yeah.
not lemon salt.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
lemon salt. You
yeah.
can, just for the record, anybody who's got like a home sense near them, you can get the lemon salt that we lugged back from Italy.
Yeah.
You can get it at Winners sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that, I think, and I think it's certainly. I've never been a sweets person anyway, so that hasn't been. Although every once in a while I do feel a craving for sweets, but fruit fixes it.
Ah.
And it is, so it's an interesting thing, but I'm also careful about portion size, because before I just eat and I just didn't want to eat anymore, and now if you eat too much you feel full,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I don't know, it's somehow whatever it does, and I should learn more about this, but you feel fuller quicker.
Okay.
But because I was used to little bits anyway, like poor
Yeah.
Paul is always like,
Is there
you didn't
more?
finish your dinner. Like,
Oh.
I'll give him lots, and then he's like, you didn't finish your dinner. It's like, well, I'll eat it later. And he's like, when? It's like, and at midnight I might get up and,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Because it's like, I don't want it then, but I might want it later.
Yeah, that's how I am too. Although I was raised to clean my plate, and I did learn that lesson pretty well. So sometimes I have to remind myself I don't have to eat it all at once, because I do love to come back
Right.
and
Yeah.
eat it. I want to eat it all.
Yeah.
But I don't. That's a terrible feeling to feel
Well,
like
too
overfull.
full, right? Like
Yeah.
that's just it. But I think that kind of goes into like one of the things that we've been talking about, and what's become sort of top of mind is, what is it like? What does all the stuff you learned growing up, right? Because I have always struggled with my weight, right? And when I look back at pictures, and it was like, I was worried about that. And
Yeah.
Now you see it. Except then it really was, because I also, in my early 20s, I had hung around a group of very beautiful, very, very slender, right? Like very glamorous women. And honestly, this is about as dressed up as I get is when we do this. And we all know it. I mean, I'm lucky. I look down and it's like, oh, there's lunch and there's breakfast. And but it's like, but what does it do for your own sense of self? You know what I mean? When so much has been put on how you look, right? And now I'm on, because as you age, I think your journey's different. Mine is about healthy, fit, and I'm happy if also it looks good, right? But that's just a bonus.
Yeah.
But think about, and we talked a bit about purity culture and your body image. Think about the messages we hear, and that's why I'm so glad when I hear, somebody in their 20s or 30s or 40s, and they're like, don't body shame me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, and I hear them talking back to people, and
Yeah.
it's like, good for you, because
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I see this in my daughters, and I'm so grateful, because I don't know that I gave them the best modeling, because I came out of the generation where, I mean, I think it's been around forever, but I got treatment for an eating disorder when I was in my late teens. And then, and I took all those messages in about, you need to look this way.
Yep.
But what I learned, and I did a lot of reading at that time, just about, what what are eating disorders? Like what is,
Right.
how does this happen? How does something
Yeah.
like this happen? What leads up to it? And it has far to do with control
Yeah.
and an identity thing. And what I learned at one point was that in cultures where women are told not, are discouraged from having a voice, and especially are discouraged from being angry.
Right.
If anger is something you're not allowed to be, you will do anything to stuff that anger down. And if that means stuffing it down with food,
Yep.
and then later purging somehow,
Yep.
To discharge that, because it has to go somewhere. That
Yep.
energy that's
Yep.
stored up. So you're not learning to express your anger appropriately. You're literally turning it inwards
Yep.
on yourself.
Yep.
And I realized that's what I did for many years. And so, for me, learning to find my voice and express things has been that's my life goal.
Right.
So things like this podcast, things like writing for me
Yep.
have been life-saving.
Yep.
Because I am learning to say the things that are important to me that I have been stuffing down for
Right.
a long time.
And to be comfortable standing in your authenticity, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And-
Exactly.
And you have to get to that place, because for those who maybe grew up with a confidence gene that maybe I didn't have, and I'm not sure I still have it, although I just had I've got a client with an issue, and in that I stand confidently. In so many other things, like, even though I know,
Yeah.
something in my brain goes, "You're stupid.
Or you, I don't.
You're not good at this.
Ugh, that's such bad messaging.
You don't look good."
You need a PR team.
I need
For
my
yourself.
own.
You need-
So I just in the last few years, because I had this committee in my brain, and some of them were mean, right? I got some really good ones, and I have a few really hilarious ones on the committee, but there are a couple of mean ones. And I just got the mean ones to freaking go on permanent vacation. Now I need to pull more of the good ones out.
Yeah.
Right? It's a journey, but it is interesting, and it's the things that you learn growing up, and the messages that not just from your immediate family, but that you got from the media, that you got from television.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing real sized people on TV shows.
Yes.
Right? You
Yes.
never saw that before. You had to
No.
look like you
Oh, yeah.
you had to look like the people in Party of Five, or you
Yeah.
had to look
Yeah.
like the, I was about to date myself and say Mary Tyler Moore. But it's one of those things where it's like there are all these beautiful people that maybe never got to enjoy a potato chip.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and you'd hear the stories about, and like, we all knew that at that time, figure skaters, ballet dancers, gymnasts, I think actors, that
Yeah.
just goes, they all had hugely high rates of eating disorders,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they could not be overweight.
Yeah.
And they were largely supposed to fit an image.
Yep.
So they had to be nice. They had to be pretty thin, obviously thin,
Yeah.
but also nice.
Well, also, but that's just it. And also, I mean, the camera. But I also think that there were these ideas. Like, I'm trying to remember what female actor it was that talked about. She got told she was too big, and she was like a size freaking 4. And back in the day, size 4. Because honestly, the sizes are not the same when I was growing up to what they are now.
No, they're not.
Right? But it's like she got told she was too big. And honestly, when you see the images, like, because she's come out since, and she's older, and she doesn't give a crap now. And I'm going to have to go find out who it was, because I've been, like, sort of a little obsessed just with the fact that she went through that, and now she's come out and said, fuck you to the industry.
Yeah.
Right?
That sounds like a Jamie Lee Curtis.
It could be, like her, I was thinking maybe,
Well, hi.
oh, look at him. Chalupa
at
wants
you.
up. Think about even these sort of,
Go away.
the typical cheerleader chubby friend. They even did it in the Gilmore Girls, right? So Lorelai Gilmore, who
Yeah.
you remind me of, is
I'm gonna have to watch it.
is the star, and she's beautiful, and she's like rock. She she can wear anything. She looks great, but it's jeans and a cool belt and a t-shirt, and she's just there. And then she has Melissa, and I'm gonna forget her name, and she had a TV show with another bigger fellow, and her name is Melissa something, but she was one of the first plus size actors to get her own TV show, right?
Okay.
And so she's got her as her best friend. So there again, we have the stereotype, beauty, chubby friend.
Yeah.
Pretty chubby friend, but
Yeah.
chubby friend.
Yeah.
Right? And so I used to watch it and it was like, how come the chubby one can't be the star?
Right. Yeah.
Right? And so there's all these things, and these things, they get in your unconscious, right?
Yeah.
Like
They for
they
sure
live
do.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, they absolutely do. Yeah, I remember that too.
I'm going to look up her name.
There's roles, right?
Yep.
Like there's and I know this as a storyteller, as a fiction writer. We have a cast of characters and we need to fill the slots. And typically, it's a hero, a villain. If it's a love interest, then there needs to be maybe a love triangle, and there's a best friend, there's a catalyst, there's a somebody who's going to help you on your journey, somebody who's going to be the foil that shows your characteristics because they're a contrast to them. So that's so when you've got a thin hero or heroine and you want to showcase that, of course,
Yep.
you put somebody who's not as good looking, not as thin, not as smart, whatever, so that their characteristics look stronger.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And well, I know, and I do get that.
But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you showcase the strength and the personality and the curves or whatever of the person? Like, why is it thinness?
Right.
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 Like, why is thinness the metric that has
Yep.
to be? I was always a thin kid growing up. I was skinny, but I was also
Right.
tall early, and so I looked skinnier than I was.
Yeah.
But I don't think I was a pretty kid. Come high school, things changed a little bit, but I never really got boobs, so it wasn't that. And I was never a popular kid.
Right.
Like I just wasn't. I was too shy, too nerdy.
Right.
To everything. But then when I realized that, actually I have enough of a figure for some attention.
Right.
And then it became all about, okay, I have to look a certain way, and my value is in my looks.
Right. Right.
Which really sucked, because I was somebody who often knew the answer in class. I would never raise my hand.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Never let the spotlight shine on me.
So that's an interesting thing. We should all go look and see, because I'm seeing lots of people, and I mean, I've always wanted to be on the other side of the camera. I don't like the camera, right? But I'm seeing people posting pictures like from high school. I'm like in a couple of like high school things, and it's really interesting because it was just like, I went to a primarily Italian and Portuguese high school, and I came from across town to go there. But it was really interesting to me because they had these sort of little groups because they'd mostly grown up on the same streets. But I see these pictures and they look so easy and natural. And I don't think it was until like the past 10 or 15 or maybe 20, and that might be stretching it, where I ever felt that at ease in myself. Right? And yet I look at these pictures and it's like, where'd they get this confidence? And then I think back, and again, it's like what you just said. It was really interesting because I've always been seen as the smart one or the creative one. And it's like, and then you absorb those identities, right? And then it becomes who you are. But does that box you in?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that's an interesting point you make. I was looking through my library to come up with books that might be relevant to what we were talking about today, and I came across this one, Sex Object by Jessica Valenti, and I just kind of scanned through it briefly because it's been quite a while since I've read it. But she talks. It's a very deeply personal memoir of, and she's a feminist writer. She's written a lot of things. She's a columnist for something, can't remember now. But she makes she relates how when she had her daughter, it was very traumatic, blah blah, all sorts of things happened, and she didn't feel like she was connecting with her baby. She didn't feel like there was a lot of stuff going on, and she says she feels like she missed all of that.
Right.
But then she looks back at photos and she sees her face and she's like, oh, I look like I'm happy. I see the video and I'm engaging and I'm smiling and I'm singing "You Are My Sunshine" and all this. So maybe it wasn't as bad as I remember. Or so my question to what you're saying is, do you think those girls really felt as confident or at ease in their bodies as they looked? And maybe did they see you looking and thinking, look at how confident she is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like our internal experience and our external
It's very
representation
different,
isn't
right?
always.
It's but I think that's a good point, because I was certainly seen as a part of the. I don't think we were geeks because it wasn't technology then, but like I was on the student council.
Yes.
I was on this, on the yearbook.
You would have
like
terrified me, but you and I were very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and so it was that, but I think that's a fair thing, because also one of the values that I remember growing up especially from my mom, was you're as smart as any boy, act it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's a different approach. But then you wonder, that's just it. Like, sometimes I look back and it's like, was I there? Like, because you see the photo and it's like, my memory of that was either a positive or a negative, and the photo shows something different. And it's like, what the hell? Like, it's like, people will say memories of things, and it's just like, were we watching the same movie?
Right.
So it's all really interesting. And I wonder how much of my memory is real. Like, it's like, no wonder they don't trust, like, witness testimony.
Yeah.
Because, like, you misremember.
You absolutely misremember. And you layer stuff onto something. And, I mean, that's what point of view is all about, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm seeing and I'm experiencing right now. And it's all colored by what's in here.
Yeah.
And you're experiencing a whole different outlook. And and it's colored by all of your internal stuff. So we don't experience the same, and they'll say that about children in homes. Like, you grew up in a different family, even though you grew up in the same family.
Yeah.
You had different parents because you had different relationships with them.
Yeah. And sometimes different, the matter of 2 or 3 or 4 years could make a huge difference, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But it is an interesting thing, and it is an interesting thing about, body image, and one of the things that you mentioned was, like, you were smart but you didn't talk out, right? Right, because within the context of the world you lived in, right? And it's like, what are the things that are unconscious or subconscious? I never get this one right, but what are the things that we battle against that we don't know?
Oh, yeah,
right?
the blind spots.
Yeah.
The blind spots.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so self-aware. I love it when you hear somebody say, I'm so self-aware. I'm the most self-aware person I know. And I'm like, wow, honey, you just revealed some pretty big blind spots. Because we all think we're self-aware.
Yeah.
But that's why they call them blind spots, is we can't see them. Of course, we've all got huge spots that we have no...
Yeah.
And I walk around going, is that my blind spot? Is that my blind spot? Wait, I got to see it.
Well, now...
I got to find it.
Now that's what I'm going to do, now that I know it's called a blind spot. Because usually it's like, do I actually know what I think I know? Right? It's one of those where it's and it is interesting. Although I think, given, how much time you and I spend together, I think we have more... I can't recognize that I'm actually good at this than the blind spots. Like, where it's like,
right.
Hey, you're good at this. Shucks, no, I'm not.
Yes.
I'm really, and you really believe, like, it's not like you're being humble.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, that person must have been drinking.
So, you know what I often think? I'm like, well, if I know it, how hard can it be? Like, everybody must be able to know it. If I can do this,
no, that's fair.
This is so simple. Come on. Like, I can show you how to do this. Like, anybody could do this.
So we just did a thing for a client, because lots of our the people at this organization go out and present stuff, and they present highly scientific, technical stuff for the most part, but they're scientists, they're not presenters. So we've done this series of little videos, and one of them is how to turn the mic on and off, or how to ask for it, because it seems really basic, but if you get up there and you're presenting, and it might be your first presentation, and you get up there and you don't know how to turn it off, you get kerfuffled.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But the other thing is how to tell when the mic is on, because it's a hot mic. Everybody can hear what you're about to say.
Ooh.
Right? So just little, so we did the first one, and I know there were a couple of people that were like, come on, that's really basic. And so we're like, just let us put it out. We've already got 3 emails saying thank you for that. Right?
Wow.
Because it's the stuff you assume others know.
Yes, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I had a little example of that this week, because let me see. Well, first of all, we had a showing, I don't know, a week or 2 ago. And this was after another one of my middle daughter had been over with her kids, and they'd used the pack and play in the spare room. Well, do you think I could undo that thing? Oh my God, these these portable.
I guess when we had the open house.
Might have been, yeah. And I got all ready and I left and I sent a message to our realtor. I'm like, look at this has defeated both Grandma and Grandpa. Can't get this thing. I don't know how to take it apart.
Yep.
I mean, it's got to be simple.
Yeah,
it's got to be simple. It is. It's like literally a one-touch thing.
Yep.
But I didn't want to wreck it.
So did he fix it? Did he do it?
And he sent me a message that said, "Ha, that's something I do know." Their youngest, awesome. I think, is about 6, right?
Yep.
So they're pretty close to that. But then, so he takes it apart, puts it out of the way so people can go through the house, and then my kids come over and I need to set the damn thing up.
You should.
I had to Google it, and I did a quick Google, like, how do you set up a pack and play? It's like there's a lot of pages that respond to that because those things are friggin' stupid. Right. It was super simple, and I just was missing a thing. But that's it. Like, you need somebody to tell you those, because when you do it all the time,
yep.
It's easy.
But that's just
and then
it.
Why? But then if we all think that, like, I'm sure. When these people called you today, you immediately, because I saw you like right after,
yep.
pretty much right after they called, or maybe,
yep.
yeah. And you immediately knew what to do. You jumped right in. And I've often thought about that, like when you're going to talk to somebody, like that part of your brain, I see it kick in.
Yep.
And I see you, I know the messaging, I know the hot spots, I know what to avoid. Don't
yep.
talk about this, don't do this. And it's like automatic for you.
Yep.
But it's automatic because you've done it for so long.
Yeah.
And you've got natural skill that's been honed.
Yes. It is interesting. Like, and I do it about cooking too. It's like, oh no, this is easy.
Oh, you do that all the time. My sister does the same thing. She's like, oh, chimichurri? Oh, that's an easy one to make. Then just do this. Then 5 ingredients. And she did that. Oh, okay, Connie, if you're listening, and I know you do, I'm going to tell a story now. And I love you dearly, but this is a funny story.
Well, while she's doing that, I'm pouring wine.
Good plan. When we lived in our other house, my husband and I we had been thinking about moving for a while, and we were a little restless, and we knew we needed to do some things to fix up the house if this was ever going to happen. This was before the big renovation. We thought we would do some things ourselves. So my sister's visiting, and she said, I had told her how we're kind of tired of this kitchen backsplash, and we think that we should, get somebody in to change it, rather than do a whole kitchen reno. She's like, oh, tile? That's simple. We can do that. We can do that while I'm here. We'll do that. We've done that before. Yeah. So we didn't start while Connie was here. We waited until afterwards. But we were like, yeah,
so there's your
fun.
first mistake.
So we found the tile we wanted. We bought it. My husband bought a tile cutter. Like, we moved the stove out. And then we started removing tile. Wow. We got to one spot where, because you think the tile has to come off, and then you put it over new tile over top of the drywall. But what you don't know is that sometimes the tile is kind of holding the drywall together, and you cannot get it off without wrecking the drywall underneath. Wow. It turned one weekend? No, that is not what it took for us. I don't know how you and Tim did it, but it was not how it happened for us. So about a week later, we cleaned it all up.
Called somebody in?
No, we finished it. And it was, all things considered, not bad. But then a year later, we hired somebody to gut the whole house, so fix that.
Yeah, those are I admire that. We just went to dinner at a friend's house and he had done a great deal of Philip and Cindy.
Oh, they
and he
did
had done a
job.
great deal of all their stuff, and it was just like, as he was talking, it was like, I so admire that, and I wouldn't even ever, like, I am just not, I know that is not where my skills lie. Right?
I love doing that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And to be fair, I will say that the work we did in the pantry in that house, the tile job is just great, as long as you don't look for evenness in the one corner. But other than that, it was just because we figured out what we were doing by then.
But the other thing is, I also admire people who take a good run at it, right? And
we took a good run at that,
right? But that's one of the things I know is certainly off. But it also goes back to, because I've seen people where it's like, well, I can do that, and it was like, and they can't, right? Because again, it is a skill set, and it goes back to blind spots. There are some people who could learn it. They have those skill sets. Like, it could be like, hey, I could give that a good shot, right? I know for that I'm not. Now, if somebody said, actually, even I was thinking about it, because we have friends coming tomorrow. Terry and Andy are coming,
nice.
right? And I can make a cake, but my cake decorating skills are limited.
What?
Right? Like, I can make them look pretty, but we have other people, like here in our community, Helen and Julie, like, oh my goodness, they look like they should be on the cake baker thing.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of your cakes. They're pretty spectacular.
I just throw
You
dried
won
flowers
prizes for your
for
cakes.
the taste, not for the pretty.
Yeah, it all goes together.
Anyway, I'll show you the picture from tomorrow's. It'll look nice, but there are people here
What kind
who do it.
Are you making carrot cake?
Yes.
I'm coming
So
over.
you have to come over for, I was going to say, come for a drink and then come for dessert. but there
See
are
how
people.
she just told me I can't come for dinner? I
can
heard
come
it.
for dinner.
No, I heard it.
You can come
You
for
can come
dinner.
for a drink and then you can come for dessert.
I think Ray's sick of
Pretty
all of
clear.
us. No, you can come for dinner. What am I making? What am I making?
I don't know. Why are you looking at me?
Chicken. Well, because you know things. You can come for dinner.
Anyway.
Anyway, go back to this. So there are people who can decorate cakes. Like, holy man. What are you doing? You see? Can you guys see him?
Trying to get in the screen.
But there are people who can decorate cakes. I like those, how they make everything even and everything. I mean, come on, man.
Andrew and Levi, and I do have a picture of this. I will put it
Yeah.
in there. They did for Abel's birthday, which he turns 3 tomorrow, which is going to be in the past by the time you see this. And they, for his party, they did a cake that was dinosaur themed. So there was T-Rex chasing 3 triceratops across
You like
a
how
river.
she acts it out, right?
And there was a volcano
See,
in
it's
the
not
background.
just across a river, it's like across a
Oh
river.
yeah. There was it was crazy. The stuff in that cake.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then they forgot to bring utensils.
So they ate with their hands.
It was awesome. It was a really good cake.
I did a gingerbread house one year for Christmas, and I was trying to do like this really cool beach bar scene, except it really didn't work. Although I did have,
A gingerbread
I'm sure
house.
you've seen it. By the time I got up, I put it together, and the next morning I was going to decorate, and I got up and it had folded in. So I called it a gingerbread beach bar scene after a tornado or after a hurricane.
That's
It was.
awesome.
I'll have to find the pictures, but it had little
Oh, my
it had a pond, it had little sharks in
Ooh.
it, and it had little bar stools. But then one
Wow.
of the bar stools fell over, and the tiki thing came down. And see,
Man,
I'm just not good at it.
when you go to that kind of work, and then
I had little cream
That's
cheese
hardly-
snowmen, and they had little candied bacon scarves on, and I had little penguins made out of olives.
see, you can't say you're not good at decorating just because it fell apart overnight.
It looked like a drunken leprechaun had made it. Like I'll find a picture. Oh my God.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm kind of a one pony show, one hit wonder. I've got like one trick. It's like ice the cake, put some frilly stuff around the edges. I think I'm done. I think that's about all I can do.
Well, see, I just do it and smooth it around, and then I throw like either edible flowers or dried flowers on
Yeah,
it. Right?
yeah. They're always very pretty. But yeah, the back to the point about not being aware of what we're good at. I think that is so classic about many, many women. Or it's not even not being aware, but being aware and knowing, in my case, don't boast. Like pride is
Right.
a sin.
Yeah.
Bragging about anything that you do, or if you say you're good at something, then that looks like bragging, and you
Right.
better not do that. And don't do anything that will make other people feel bad. So if you can do something great and someone else can't, well, they might feel bad. So then don't
Right.
talk about what you can do. Or there's so many things layered in there, right?
Yep. And the whole don't be smarter than your boyfriend. No, I didn't
Ooh.
get that. Right? That's not what I got, but I certainly saw people doing that. But the one question I have, so what do you think is worse? Having a blind spot for your abilities, or having a blind spot like for not acknowledging or realizing how skilled you are, or for a blind spot for thinking you're better at it than you are? Like,
That's a
because those are
great
two very
question.
different
Yeah.
challenges, right?
Yeah, they are. Well, that's such a good question. And I know that the way I grew up, it was much, much worse to be, arrogant or prideful or
Right.
overestimate your abilities. Confidence was very dangerous,
Right.
If you're confident, then, you've probably got a big ego. And,
But did that go for men too?
It did actually. Yes, it did. It did that, and that was probably more of a microculture thing as
Right.
opposed to, you know, like the whole culture. I don't think felt that way, but sort of my little circle
Right.
had that for everyone.
Right.
Women especially, but also men. Everyone needs to be very humble. Humility in the Mennonite Amish, you know, communities. I'm not Amish, but there are some similarities. Humility is a huge value, right? So you have to stay very humble.
But I think humility, like being humble, is a value, because I got it. Like, and I say this, like, people are sick of me. A lion doesn't have to tell you they're a lion,
right. Yeah.
right? Like we have brilliant friends. Like our friend Melina is like I mean, my God, that woman, just to be in the room with her,
Yeah.
right? And Della, and like so many people who are brilliant. But you know what? My takeaway, because I was lucky, because I started at McLean's, where some of the smartest people in the freaking world worked, right? Is my takeaway from that is I always knew just by their actions actually how truly smart they were, because the smart ones would ask you about, they would be listening rather than
Right.
telling you how smart they are.
Right.
And it's always, to me, the ones that have to convince you how rich they are, how smart they are, how this they are, how whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like,
If you got to say it, then I don't believe
but
it.
that's just it. It's like,
You
so
know?
show me, like
Yeah.
Melina or Della, or like there's a whole list of people that that we know, and this some that we've worked with, like on every commission of inquiry we've done. Like, we've got some clients, and they're incredible, and it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, if you got to convince me and you can't show me, you know,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that's and I think to me that's just it. Like, if you have to tell me how rich you are, first of all, I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the other side of that is like, let me see your bank statement then. I want to see, what is your car leased? Is your house mortgaged to the hilt? Is that like, and that, first of all, that doesn't impress me. Now, if you're going to tell me, you know, like Melina has presented cases like at the Hague,
do it.
right, for human rights.
Ooh.
And it's like, you don't learn that until you're 3 months into the friendship with her, right? Because she's been too
Wow.
busy asking you about, what are you
Oh.
passionate about? What's your
Oh.
purpose, right?
I've met her once or twice. I don't know her very well, but I definitely have seen that with Della.
Yeah.
Right. And I know Della is
Yeah.
incredibly accomplished.
Yeah.
But she is somebody, and you've said this too. She is somebody who makes everyone else in the room feel interesting.
Yeah.
And that is a huge gift.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge gift.
Yeah.
And I've you know, like, I've thought about that, and oh man, I'm going to do that. I want people to say that about me, because I love that.
Yeah.
That's such a
And she's
Such a
genuine
gift.
about it. Like, the other thing, she's just interested. Like,
Yeah.
I can remember things, you know, not issues or crisis. That's different, right? Because
Yeah.
Della would take charge of things, although she would always be pulling in knowledge from people. But I've also seen her, you have a discussion, and you're there, and something would happen in the world, and Della would say, you know, I'm going to call my friend, you know, who's from that country. I need to get their take on it, because it'd be like, so what do you think?
Yeah,
And she'd like,
yeah.
I need to investigate more, but I'm going to call this person, right? Because
Yeah.
she was always feeding in. Della never thinks she is the sole, the supreme thought
Right,
of anything.
right.
She wants to pull it in so
Yeah,
she can
yeah.
analyze it.
Yeah.
And that's just it. And that's what she makes you feel like you have something to contribute, right? Whereas others I've seen that aren't anywhere near as freaking smart as her, and they're so busy trying to make you feel like they're the smartest person. If you have to, if you always have to be the smartest person in the room, well, you know, then you're in trouble, because honestly, 9 out of 10 times there's probably somebody smarter about something in the room.
Well,
right?
you're never learning anything then.
Well, and
Right?
and also, if you're that smart, why do you need to prove it?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. That's one thing. I mean, they say that about, you know, aging well is, you know, make sure you're always learning something.
And be curious.
And be curious, exactly. And I've always, I mean, Ray laughs at me because he says every September I go through something because it's the start of the school year. And for me, the school year is so exciting.
Oh, yeah.
You never know what's going to happen, and maybe I'll take a class in some community college thing. Maybe I'll whatever,
Right.
like, because I love it.
learn.
Like, I love learning stuff, and I love taking courses, and my expense account shows it. It's like, oh, took a course in podcasting. Can't you tell? Oh, took a course in newsletter writing. Yeah, I haven't done a newsletter for like 6 months. Took a course in AI. Still don't understand anything about it. But I love to, there's so many options for learning that are so simple now, right?
But and that's just it, and you can do it online. Although I have to say, I have a iMovie course and a podcast course, but the other thing is, even just talking to people like somebody that maybe you don't know much about, and it's like, and you know what, honestly, it's like, unless you're working at your purpose, because a lot of people don't get that opportunity, right? But it's like finding out what their purpose is in a way that, because if you say to somebody, what's your purpose, who's not used to talking that language, but it's like when you hear somebody talk about they collect antique books or first editions, right? And or you hear someone, talk about, like, you get Philip talking about food, right? Or even somebody like, okay, except for Ray and Paul, about golf, because honest to God, that, like, tomorrow morning when we walk for our 45 minutes or whatever it is, I'm going to hear all about the golf thing.
Yeah.
But and for, I think if you're married to them and you hear all about the golf thing 3 times a week, it's not as interesting, right? But if you,
I'm so glad that they enjoy it, and I'm so glad that they can talk about it together. And really, I just want to know the highlights. And the highlights to me are, what did you talk about?
Yeah, and
it's not, and did you make that shot?
And who'd you play with? Who was with you? What was it? Because there's a guy there that's really interesting. He golfs like how many times? 400 times a year or something.
Yeah.
Right? Like
once or twice every day throughout the year.
Like, and we're talking like a full 18 holes.
Oh yeah.
Right? But like, so you talk to Pink Beverly about her stuff, right? Like everybody's got these things, and for the most part people don't ask. And honestly, but I think it's because we're authentic about it, because you can also tell, because honestly, I see people, they'll come up and you're at a party and it's like, oh, so blah, blah. They ask you a question and you're talking and you can see them looking over your shoulder.
Yes.
And I know I could be boring, but I'm not that boring, right?
You're
but
not
because
boring
you
at
know,
all. But yeah,
you know that they're there for a thing.
Right.
They have they have an agenda, and if you're not meeting it, they're going to go hit on the next, and I don't mean hit on, but they're going to go talk to somebody else.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah. There's also people, because I've seen this, because I know I was this, who won't talk. Right? Or they won't share, or because they feel like if they talk about their experiences, that they're bragging or they're holding the spotlight or something, you have to drag information out of them. It's exhausting to do that.
It is, but there's a difference between dragging information out and giving somebody an opening, I think.
Yeah.
And so maybe again, because I was lucky enough to grow up at McLean's, but like the open-ended question, tell me what you think about that.
Yeah.
Right? And if you invested, because I have to admit, usually at a party, because I'm kind of socially awkward, I'm going to find the person standing by themselves. But then sometimes, honestly, the person's standing by themselves for a reason, and you should freaking hightail it out of there.
Yeah,
but the other side is sometimes it's just somebody, and you just have to hit on the right thing. But you can only try so much, because if you're making you uncomfortable, that's the thing. But if you're making them, like, if they're really not up for it, right? Because maybe they just want to stand there and have a drink, and they just had a big fight with their partner. Right?
I've had so many awkward social. I'm thinking of one right now where...
But it's from 10 years ago or something.
No, it's not from 10 years ago. It's from shortly after we moved from here. But we went to a party with... it was at somebody's place in our old neighborhood. And I was so relieved. Right, it's how I feel right now, is this whole stress of, is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Maybe it's not going to happen. Well, it did happen. We made it to this house. We sold the big house. That was we went to a party very close to our old neighborhood with a lot of the people from that neighborhood, which I didn't really know. They were mostly my husband's friends and golf people and stuff like that. Really?
It's okay. I love him.
Okay. And we got out of the car, and I burst into tears. And I walked into the garage, and I'm like, I can't go in. This is too much. We'd moved the day before. We'd literally...
Oh, that's a lot.
Possibly that day.
Oh, my God.
I can't remember. Like, it was... I shouldn't have gone to the party. I was exhausted, and I was overwhelmed, and I was nervous because I didn't really know these people. And then I pulled myself together. One of the neighbors was very kind. And she, she's like, "You're okay." She put her arms around me, and
nice.
She sort of took care of me. And then I walked into the party, and I got cornered by the only evangelical Christian lesbian at the party. And she promptly I mean, she held me hostage. I mean, I was okay with that. I'm just like, I'm going to sit here and you can talk at me. That's fine. And I heard her life story. Couldn't tell you a single thing about it right now, except that it was pretty dramatic and traumatic, as it would be.
So what drew her to you? Was it the tears?
I mean, I think I looked okay by then.
Okay, but what do you think? Because you're a storyteller? Because we both get that, where somebody tells you all, and they're like, they tell you stuff, and it's like, I think you should either tell your priest or your psychiatrist this.
Yeah,
right? Like,
if you're telling me, I'm going to put it in a book.
Yeah, well, and if I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but you shouldn't tell me.
I was just glad that I didn't have to expend the energy to go around and talk to everybody else. But later, the neighbor that was really kind to me, she's like, I was going to talk to you, and this woman was talking to you the whole time. I never got a chance to say hi to you. And I'm like,
But that she might have been like a little saving angel that just talked at you so you could, That's a lot of pressure. Like, when you're, that is hard to do.
Have you noticed a theme here? My response is burst into tears. That happens a lot.
I don't know that I've ever seen you burst into tears. Your dog once.
Really?
Do you care?
She thinks she does.
But then there's the awkward times where it's like somebody at the grocery store is like, oh, that you're talking and you're going on a trip, and it's like, oh, have a good vacation. You too.
Oh, yes. I did that just yesterday in the grocery store. It's like, have a fun time at the water slides with your kids.
Yeah, you too.
You too. Wait.
Yeah. Or worse, you're saying goodbye to like the cable guy, and it's like, okay, I gotta go. Okay, love you.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like,
I knew you were going to say that. Yep.
What did I just say? I know. Or you go to a party and no one, and then somebody who's like a bit high profile comes up to talk to you, and you're like, welcome, plant. Nice to meet you, shoo. And it's like, it comes out, and it's like, and then you don't know what to do.
My sister and I, the very first year we went to the Surrey Writers Conference, we'd been to a bunch of workshops. It was the end of the day. We were just going up to our hotel room to drop our stuff off before we were going down for dinner. And we rode in the elevator with a really well-known agent.
Yep.
And we got out of the elevator afterwards. We both looked at each other and went, ah! We just rode the elevator with...
Yep.
We're like such idiots. We're so starstruck with everybody, right? And so you're in the elevator going like,
yep.
Good workshop.
That's just it.
Good workshop. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Tell you story.
Yeah.
Read book. Pay big advance.
Yeah. But it's incredible, right?
Oh yeah, the social. Yeah.
So one of the things early on, because I suck at, like, I'm not good at presenting. I get nervous, which is really funny since I coach people.
I'm going to add the link to your TED Talk because you're better than you think you are.
But you know what? So the interesting thing is about that TED Talk. When you first said that, my first reaction was to say, "Oh, I was really fat then." That was the first thing that came in my head. Isn't that, but going back to what we were talking about, right? Isn't that the thing that we're always, because it's like, oh my God, I'm body shaming myself.
Yeah.
Right? But isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
But it is interesting because you get up there, and one of the things that and I think it might have been Della who was coaching me, she's like, tell him you're nervous. She's like, it's relatable.
Yeah.
Right? And she said, your brand is not the slick polished.
Right.
Your brand is authentic, and it's this. So get up and say, you know what? As much as this is a part of my job, I know what it feels like to be up here and to have my voice shake and that kind of thing. And that changed everything, I have to say.
I bet it did.
Right?
I bet it did.
Because it is authentic, because we all get nervous. And honestly, when I coach people, and I've coached some people for real, like not just the TEDx talks, but TED talks, right? And for some big presentations and stuff. And now I forget what I was going to say. But you know what? The ones who don't get nervous are the ones that worry me the most. It's the same as when we do media coaching. Oh. The people that are like, I've got this, and it's like, you're going to fuck up. Right? You're too arrogant because if you think, it goes back to the blind spot.
Yeah.
Right? If you think that, everybody. So Barack Obama, when he was president, did media training and would, like, the state of the union stuff like that. They would go through it and go through it and go through it. because he was a perfectionist and he wanted to do it right.
Okay.
If Barack Obama needs to be coached, or thinks coaching helps, coaching helps.
Coaching helps,
right? Because it's like an actor. You have rehearsal, right? You go through the thing. So if something happens and you're distracted, your brain goes right back to the loop of what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's just it. Like, and honestly, as soon as somebody says to me, "And I'm good, I've got it," it's like you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Right, and it's an arrogance, again, a blind spot.
And I got to think that every individual event is slightly unique, right?
Well, it should be.
It should be, right? So just because you're good at speaking or you're good at reacting or something doesn't mean you're good at reacting to this.
Well, that's just it.
Or speaking in this environment.
And you don't know what that day is going to bring.
Yeah.
You don't know. You want to make sure that you're on message, but the only way you get to be truly, authentically on message is if you know it inside and out, because that's when you get to ad lib.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, if you're going to break the rules, you better know the rules first.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to seem to be authentic, and you never want to over prep somebody because you don't want them to be like, and then I'm going to tell you about this, right? You want it to be natural.
Yeah.
But how do you keep the key points in your head if you don't practice?
Yeah.
Right? If you don't go through it.
Yeah.
And everybody has quirks, and they have verbal or physical tics that come out when they're nervous.
Yes, absolutely.
But it is interesting to me because going back to blind spots, it's like, now I'm good at winging it. It's like, well, maybe last time you got away with it, because there's going to be a time when you're going to get caught up.
Yeah. Someone's gonna see that. Someone's gonna be prepared.
Yep.
Know that you do this in advance, and they're gonna trip you up.
But that's just it. Or if it's a media interview, they're going to ask you a question you never thought of, right? And I've seen some really great people at who know the information inside out, and they can do it. But the fact is, just because you know it doesn't mean you can communicate it effectively.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, it kind of goes, like, all of that sort of goes back to blind spots, but also it's so much easier to say, yeah, there's a bit of stress right now.
Yes, totally.
Right?
When you said about knowing the rules before you can break them, that's such a classic fiction writer's kind of 101 thing, right? Like Nora Roberts breaks some very important rules, but because she's been writing for so long and she does so many things so well, she breaks the rules in a way that works.
Yep.
And so many other people, and specifically she does something called head hopping, which is a point of view where the camera's in this person's head and then all of a sudden you're in someone else's head.
Oh,
that is a tough one to pull
Yep.
off. And she doesn't do it on purpose. That's just how she writes.
Yep.
But because she's written so much.
Right, and she's good at it. She makes it work. Other people do it and it falls flat. Yeah.
And
it's
confusing. It's confusing for the reader because they don't have the skill.
Right.
Yet. Maybe they'll develop the skill.
Yep.
But when you go into it saying, yeah, I'm going to break the rules because so-and-so broke the rules. Yeah, when you get to their level, you're allowed to break the rules. Until then, you learn the rules and you follow the rules.
But that's just it. And you do. And unless the story is demanding it. You know what I mean? Like for Nora Roberts, these are the stories she's telling.
Yeah.
And that's just it. It's like the the media training. Honestly, there's a reason. 3 key messages, right? Don't for a good soundbite. I forget what it is, but it's not something like, wait, I should know this. But it's like not over like 12 words. So it actually turns out when Twitter first came on and they had the whatever the character count was, and I can't remember. It's not the
or something.
Yeah, it's like that's actually what in a crisis you're supposed to keep a soundbite to, so people can get it. So there was science behind the first Twitter. Right, there was a science behind it, and we used to use it all the time because
it was 140 characters.
It was 140. So 140 characters turns out to whatever it is, 8 or 10 words.
Yeah.
Right, and you're supposed to be able to tell a story in that, right? And that's what a good from a corporate viewpoint, but I expect even from fiction, you should be able to tell a story in that captures the attention where the person wants the details.
I'll give you one. Best short story ever written. Here it is. Ready? For sale. 1 pair of baby booties. Never used.
Yeah.
It's got everything.
But that's right. But that's just it.
Yeah.
Right. And because I've seen that sometimes on social media where they're like, okay, do it. Right.
Yeah.
And some of the ones, it's like Home Alone. And then there's the, ice cream out on, not my, ice cream out on table, not mine. Right? Like stuff
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
right? And it's like, but that's just it. And if you, I would say that's a beautiful writing exercise for anybody,
Mhm.
because you can then take the whole thing. But
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
imagine being able to draw somebody with that story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So I'm a little obsessed with her now, and I'm going to forget her name, Roxanne. Ellen,
Oh, Ellen Hildebrandt.
Ellen, yeah. So
Yes.
I'm on The Affair, right?
Ooh.
And so I read The Perfect Couple, I read The Island, and now I'm on this. And you know what? They're always in Nantucket or around Nantucket, but they're so different,
Yeah.
right? Like because there's
What's
writers.
this one called? This one's called
The Affair.
The Affair.
and it's really fascinating, but now I'm kind of mad at everybody. So last night I was reading it, and then it was like, oh my God, you're all bad people, and I had to put it down because I was mad at all of them, right? So I'll read it later tonight, maybe, if I'm not mad at them anymore. But like, she's really stinking good, holy.
She is good. Yeah, I like her books a lot. I like her book. I don't know her personally, but I know a little bit about her, and she's.
I'm going to get her to come on the podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really like
Also,
like her writing too.
I would like to understand how she sees the world, because there's always some deceit in there.
Yeah. Oh
And-
yeah.
and-
Oh
and-
yeah.
And
She's got a brilliant gift for skewering rich people,
yeah,
like the upper.
Yeah.
You know the.
she's somebody I would like to have a
Yeah.
beer or a glass of wine with.
Yeah.
But she also has these layers where she makes you feel sorry for the rich people and hate their guts at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, and also the human layers of these flawed characters
Mm-hmm.
that you truly care about, but you also want to shake them.
Totally. Yeah.
Like it really is a gift, and usually after about 3 books of in a row of somebody, it's like, okay, I see where you live.
right.
I haven't found that with her yet.
Ah.
Like it's different enough every time.
Yeah.
You know, but it's also not the, meet cute.
She doesn't write. She writes women's fiction.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
it's not
romance.
romance,
There are romantic elements in there
Yeah.
often, but she writes this. I mean, women's fiction is the story of a woman's journey,
Yeah.
and it's usually overcoming something or
Yeah.
which is why I've started calling mine women's fiction,
Yeah.
which was
No,
a mistake
but-
for me marketing wise.
But and I think that's exactly it, because when I was reading it, it was sort of, to me, it was like, okay, because there are others that I have really liked, and yet they were more focused on the male character coming into the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this
Yeah.
is a little bit focused on every time there's a male character in there, he's screwing it up,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
he's getting in the way of this,
yeah,
and not necessarily that they know he's in the way.
yeah.
Right, but he's causing grief for there. But it was funny, because I was thinking last night, because the last series you wrote, every once in a while I have to put the book down, because it's like, you people are making me mad. I want you to do this, and you're going over there, and also you're drinking Chardonnay.
Not in the last one. Wait. Yeah, one person was drinking Chardonnay.
Yeah, a lot.
That's true.
She mentioned it several times.
And then she switched, or somebody
She
switched.
tried Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay. Wow. You get to write my story Bible next time, that's for sure. You and William Harris.
Wait,
William, if you're watching.
So I would write the synopsis of the book. Woman tries Sauvignon Blanc, doesn't react appropriately.
That's hilarious. Okay, I was writing down your stuff,
Okay.
and it showed me that I had notes here for something. And here's my note. Patriarchy, culture, and women's bodies.
Yes.
Because we're talking about weight loss, body
Yeah.
image, and how these things all get imprinted on our mind. And this is, I'm just going to read this. Patriarchy contributes to body dysmorphia by promoting unrealistic and harmful body standards, particularly for women, through the male gaze and sexual objectification, leading to heightened self-objectification,
Yep.
social scrutiny, and a focus on physical appearance over holistic well-being. The system devalues women's bodies, fostering a culture where their worth is tied to appearance, which can intersect with other systemic oppressions, and contribute to the psychological distress that underlies body dysmorphia for both women and men. And the male gaze ties into the purity culture thing that I've talked a lot about before. And it's the idea that in many high control, high demand religions, women are responsible for preventing men from stumbling into sin. And I put quotations around that because that's the language that's used. But essentially it means that we as women are responsible for men's thoughts.
Yep.
And that comes down everywhere. When, I go right away to the worst case scenario, sexual assault. Well, what was she wearing?
Right.
What was she wearing?
Yep.
That is not a fair question. It is not, don't teach your girls to dress differently.
Exactly.
It's teach your boys not to think that they can rape women. If our bodies are a temptation to them, then we must maintain strict control over what might draw the male gaze and lead them into lustful thoughts. There is a strong correlation between obesity and sexual assault. Did you know that?
Nope, I did know that.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's really interesting, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is something worth following up with, because I'm now noticing we're at 100 an hour and
when did that
20
happen?
minutes. I mean, some of it
we can
we'll take out,
yeah.
but I think this is worth talking about, because that's the other thing. So
Yeah.
I happen to be watching a series on it's people right now who are in jail, and I'm the Stalker is the title of this doc series. And it's these guys. I'm the stalker, and it's these guys. Although there are a couple of women stalkers in it, and it's these guys talking about it. And I would bet you 80% of the women who were victims of these stalkers, and these were serious stalkers, right? I mean, they're in jail. Some of them are in jail for life, right? Now it's also a time of an age where you tend to start gaining weight, perimenopause, that kind of thing. But they are all at least a little bit overweight.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what happens is you don't want to be seen as attractive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there is an unconscious probably thing, and you can't generalize, but when you think about that, what is the connection between sexual assault or that kind of stalking where it is an assault, right? And stuff like that.
There's a quote in one of these books, and I'll link the books that I was looking at today. Overweight is overlooked. And if you want to be overlooked, that's a good way.
If you want to be invisible.
If you want to be invisible, that's a good way to do it. Also, just get old, and then you're also invisible.
Oh, you're really invisible. That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic.
Right.
But that idea of, if you have discovered that you are not safe in your life, how do you manage to change that?
And that doesn't have to be a conscious thought.
Oh, no.
Right?
I think mostly it's probably not a conscious thought. But
but it is interesting, and I mean, eventually we'll get back to happy hours. But this was I think it's important to talk about it. I know for me it was important to talk about the Ozempic, because I think it gets a lot of negative attention. For me, it's been incredibly positive, right? And I think, again, anybody wants to ask questions, come and ask questions. But if you have an opinion that I shouldn't be doing it, you can keep that to yourself, right? You know what? I respect that you don't have to do it, but you don't get a say about me.
Yeah.
But I think this is a really interesting conversation. We will have a happy hour soon, that's just full of ridiculousness.
I don't know, but we talk about difficult stuff, hopefully in a somewhat lighthearted way.
Yep.
Some of the time.
And sometimes you have to talk about the things.
You
Because
do.
it's all like with what's going on in the U.S. and, all of the ridiculous things and the Epstein files and stuff. We have to talk about this stuff.
We do. Yeah.
Right? It is.
Yeah.
But
and it's what we are and who we are. So.
Yep. So let us know your questions. We will continue this conversation. I think it's an important one to keep having. Although, at some point I'm going to get Roxanne to drink like 2 glasses of wine before it, and we get this window of opportunity, and we can get her to do silly, foolish things.
Ooh, what do you want me to talk about?
I don't know.
We'll
find something out.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Too hot, baby. Too hot. Oh.
What are you grateful for, Rox?
What am I grateful for? I'm actually grateful for the end of summer. I love the heat, and now I'm ready to move into a new stage. Also, the summer is kind of like a pause from normal life, and I want normal life to start up again.
Yeah,
I'm ready for that.
I can see that.
What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful you're coming for dinner tomorrow night, Roxanne.
Maybe I am.
You make
I don't
one
know.
little skip.
Oh,
because your brain
you'll hear
didn't
about
work.
it. You'll hear about it.
Holy man, because your brain didn't work. Also, I think her husband's sick of us. right?
He's sick of a lot of things right now. He needs to golf and then more golf.
And what do we want more of, Roxanne?
We want more happy hours. What do we want less of, Ruth?
Oh, less bullshit.
So much less bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for being here,
Yep.
as always,
And listening.
guys.
Have a good weekend.
Talk to you again soon.
Okay.